Don't get me wrong.
Los Angeles has voted to oust far-left DA George Gascon, electing Nathan Hochman with 61% of the vote.
Gavin Newsom gets rejected by California in a shocking election upset.
Finally!
California also passed Prop 36, making shoplifting and theft a felony for repeat offenders and increasing penalties on drug charges.
Joining us right now is the winner, Los Angeles County District Attorney-elect Nathan Hochman. Nathan, America is glad you won. What is the message we get from your overwhelming election? We should get from it.
So the message is that the voters of LA County rejected extreme pro-criminal policies. Gascon had, the current DA, Gascon, had brought in about 4 years ago, where he said that certain crimes and certain criminals will not be prosecuted, notwithstanding the facts of the law. And I rejected those decarceration policies. I also rejected the mass incarceration policies. And I came down in the middle, and I called the hard work middle, because you got to do the work to make sure that each individual case is being considered individually.
Now look, the votes are still being counted there. California, they take weeks to count the votes. It's a real problem, but we do know that Californians have voted yes on Prop 36, the proposition to end decriminalization for theft and drug crimes. You know how you've been able to just steal whatever you want under $1,000 and get away with it? Well, that is over, folks. 70% of Californians voted yes.
In all honesty, I'm so happy that this is normal, because they have normalized it in a way that not only can they rob easily, but with little consequence, and if you try to do something about it, you were punished. And you gave certain criminals way more advantage than the regular citizen. It makes no sense. It was so wild that even Kamala Harris didn't want to tell people what she voted for. She was like, I'll let you know after the election. You better vote for me.
Yep. That nonsense. And think about that. Prop 36 was one of those policies that Kamala Harris refused to talk about on the campaign trail.
Told you people, I'm informed.
Scared to take a position on it either way. Meanwhile, 70% of Californians supported it. A common sense policy. Who wouldn't?
Kamala.
How did you vote on Prop 36?
So my ballot is on its way to California, and I'm going to trust the system that it will arrive there. And I am not going to talk about the vote on that because, honestly, it's the Sunday before the election, and I don't intend to create an endorsement one way or another around it. But I did vote.
That's normal.
Another story, the Biden DOJ announced they are dropping all Trump's criminal charges, saying his cases are going away. They've begun to unwind them, telling NBC News yesterday they have begun the process of unwinding the 2 federal criminal cases against President-elect Trump before he takes office to comply with the long-standing department policy that a sitting president can't be prosecuted. And good riddance. But if you think this ends all the witch hunts and illegal lawfare that we've witnessed, think again.
I don't think they're going to stop. They're just going to give me more content.
Wouldn't it be nice, though, if it did? Well, in response to the DOJ saying this and the spanking that Trump just gave Kamala Harris, depressed Democrats are starting to lose their freaking minds. Jen Rubin, Washington Post reporter, wrote on X yesterday, the idea that we have to try to understand how or why Trump won to prepare to fight him is a category error. It is 1933, people. Hitler is now in power. No time for effing seminars on Democrats' messaging errors. And no, Jen Rubin isn't some liberal arts major at Berkeley or something. She's an actual reporter at the Washington Post, writing for the Washington Post on a daily basis, openly talking about fighting the president-elect, how he's Hitler. So how are they planning on fighting him? Well, their plan to use Congress is now out the window. Some of them are fleeing the country, right? Michael Cohen, remember that guy? Trump's former attorney and turncoat? Remember how he claimed he was going to revoke his citizenship? Well, look, he got roasted yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. It's actually pretty funny. When I saw the clip, I was laughing out loud. Take a look at this.
No problem. Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right, let's just knock that stupid shit off, please. All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure if he's trolling or he's trying to garner sympathy as if he doesn't know how to use a phone.
All right? I'm not leaving anyway. You leave.
Okay, it's a no. Thank you.
This is my country. And I have every right, every single right within which to turn around when we stop so we can... All right, 2 seconds, I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
But seriously, how are they planning on fighting Trump now that they lost in Congress?
So they go now directly to the governors. Those are the new Spartans.
This is Sparta!
You will not touch our voters without ID, whatever. Okay, cool.
If the Trump administration requested, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, let me say this. I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you we're going to work really hard to deliver. Some realities also need to be, noted. And that is, in 2016, we had a very different situation in the courts. And while I'm sure there may be litigation ahead, there's a lot of other ways that people are going to act and need to act for the sake of their states and their residents. There's regulatory authority and executive powers and the like. There's legislation also within our states. So I think that the key here is that every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
It gave me a chance to tie the Republicans running these seats, the incumbents, closer to Donald Trump, and remind everybody, if you're voting for these Republicans in New York, you are voting for someone who supports Donald Trump, and you're anti-woman, you're anti-abortion, and basically you're anti-American, because you have just trashed American values and what our country is all about over and over.
Intends to come take away the freedom and opportunity and dignity of Illinoisans. I would remind you that a happy warrior is still a warrior. You come for my people, you come through me.
We ultimately renounce the kind of bigotry, the kind of xenophobia that is front and center in discussions and debates like this. I thought the Attorney General was right about the Trump administration having issues with immigrants, but I think he could have been even more pointed, and forgive me, Mr. Attorney General, by saying he has a particular problem with brown people, not even immigrants.
Let it be known, Dems are nervous. They know they have limited options. Resorting to state power to fight Trump is like their last resort.
Isn't it interesting, because they have state power for democracy, they can actually try to do something about it, because if it was a Republican thing, they wouldn't have the power. Isn't it interesting they enjoy this power so much, but if it was for abortion right, they don't like that power? That's wild.
If America weren't a republic and Trump had won like this, these states would have no power at all. And if you notice what everyone's making a huge stink about, it's immigration. Why are Dems so nervous about losing these 20 million illegal migrants? They just expended huge political capital to get them in here. They lost the election largely because of these immigration policies. They want to keep these 20 million people. They want to make them citizens as fast as possible. We know this. And what we're hearing is Trump's team already has their plan in place to fix this. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
And that is why he lost? I've said it so many times. He was trying to be nice, hiring people that were very middle left or left to prove, hey, I can work as a democracy. And he got backstabbed over and over. Now it's like, you know what? We're not gonna do that. I'm going to be just like you. If the left keeps saying to the blind eye, you have an eye, but you don't have to copy me, but they keep losing for some odd reason because they want to have a middle ground, one day they're going to build a new eye. And you're not going to like this eye because this eye is indestructible. See?
And what we're hearing is Trump's team already has their plan in place to fix this. No more Mr. Nice Guy, placating both sides like he did last time. He is getting down to business. On Wednesday, Trump spoke to Mexico's new president when she called to congratulate him, and he reportedly told her it would go a long way with me if you can step in now and get these caravans to stop immediately. And she did.
Well, believe it or not, Grant, I said it before, on the day of the elections, massive caravan, 3,000 people started walking. And just as people knowing on the 6th of November, the migrants and everybody started noticing that Donald Trump just became president. The Mexican authorities started acting and started going to this large group, trying to decrease the large group from continuing to walk on the north of the state of Chiapas to go in direction to the northern borders of Mexico with the United States. Started telling them, the migrants, that you continue to walk, you can have an accident, possibly, you can dehydrate yourself, go back and do your process correctly. The migrants started, we started asking them what are their thoughts of now Donald Trump winning the presidency and becoming the 47th president. They said that they are completely disappointed, that they were thinking that Kamala Harris was going to win, and now that it's going to be extremely difficult for them to enter the United States of America because they know that there's going to be a massive deportation.
All right, Oscar, let me get this straight. So Mexico now taking an active role in trying to discourage the caravans. This, to me, means that while Joe Biden was president and Kamala Harris, the borders are, they could have actively taken a role for the last 4 years and didn't. Is that a safe assessment?
It's a safe assessment, and I will tell you one thing that Donald Trump loves this word, and it's called tariff. This is the reason why the Mexican authorities started acting. When he was president, he put a threat of a tariff of a 5% tariff in the automobile industry, avocado and beer. Now that he has, he has taken power again, he said to he sent a message to the new Mexican president, said, if you continue with this, I will put 25% tariffs on everything that you're sending to the United States.
So Donald Trump has done more in his first 2 days as president-elect than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the borders had done in the last 4 years on this issue. And he's not stopping with immigration.
Donald Trump's not even president yet. Have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey, America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs.
Did you guys notice that all the swing states or key states or whatever that actually won for Kamala Harris, they all support voting without ID? Isn't that wild?
Because it doesn't seem to make any sense, because this is like one of the most consequential elections ever. I think everybody's pretty aware of that, and everybody is very dug in on their side. The left, he's Hitler; the right, he's saving us. And so more people voted, at least the indication would be. As much people voted in 2020, if not more, probably more people voted. But let's look at the numbers. Like, look at the difference in how many people voted for Biden in 2020. It's unprecedented. It's way higher than any other time since 2012, and I'm sure probably before that there was less people back then, right? So if you go back to when I was a kid, there was only like 200 million people in this country.
Yeah, and to be clear, 2012 and 2016 were not low turnout years.
No, they're all consistent. This is what's crazy. They're consistent. Look, they're all like 60. Look at where the number is. It's all like 65 million. Is that what it says? Mm-hmm. So that's all the same every time except 2020. In 2020, it goes way the fuck up. Look at it. It's like 80 what? Is it 82? Is that what it was?
Like 81 and change.
81. Yeah. So it goes up a fucking sizable chunk.
That's a lot more people voting. And guess what? The Amish voted for the Republicans these days because, hey, they messed up. If 3 years were consistent, but one suddenly, miraculously, a bunch of people appeared, I'm suspicious.
Nope. Stop talking. Go to jail.
You say you think the Democratic Party has, quote, abandoned the working class. How exactly?
The working people of this country are extremely angry. They have a right to be angry. In the richest country in the history of the world, today the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and millions of families worry that their kids are actually going to have a lower standard of living than they do.
Bernie Sanders has not won. Let me, with all due respect, and I have a great deal of respect for him, for what he stands for, but I don't respect him saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned the working class families.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. People in the middle class still have to pay the bill, but there's no way they can escape from paying the bill. Poor people can because they don't have the money, or they get help so they can survive if they don't have the money. Rich people already have the money. Middle class, you're done. And if you're disciplined and you can maintain with your wife in the good and the bad times and don't listen to anybody and focus for your kid, you don't get any help.
Your hat, is this your secret to staying warm?
No.
No, it isn't.
I have no secrets. I'm mad. I have to go to work. I have to earn a living. I'd rather have a private income and get laid well and off.
Now let me show you how they care not about you, but they're pretending they're helping you if you help them first so they can really help you even better.
Immigrant qualify for a tax credit. Again, this doesn't make any sense. It's like the hurricane.
I agree. It doesn't make any sense. This is the Democrat policy. I completely agree. It doesn't make any sense at all. So
where are these lazy people that are coming over and not working and not getting jobs, getting the money for homes?
The U.S. government.
They pay them for the homes too? Then why even give them the tax credit? Why not just give them the homes outright?
Yeah. Actually, they do. Who pays for the hotels that they're staying at in New York City, in Chicago? Well, who's paying for those hotels? Who's paying for that room and board?
I imagine there's probably federal money allocated to people.
And where does the federal government get its money?
From the,
U.S.
from the U.S.
taxpayers.
Treasury, sure, yeah.
U.S. taxpayers. So you are paying for illegal immigrants' housing. Thank you very much.
And bags of food being thrown away because the migrants don't want to eat them, and they just go to waste. This is all food that is going to waste. This is insane. This is fresh.
See, it's very simple. It's not that they don't care about you. They just don't care about you if they already got your vote.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush, hash, purple, skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, durlo, que ta, verdeta, welcome.